Neat coffee. Hello, and welcome to today's video where we're going to be going over leaks and rumors about the new and upcoming Nikon. Nikon has been quite far behind when you think about the likes of Sony and Canon in their mirrorless cameras with the A1, the R5, the R6, the A7 III, A7 IV, and so on. So now with Nikon so far in the rear view mirror, it's time for them to step up to the plate. And today we have all of the suspected the leaks that are meant to be coming with this new camera. It will be their flagship mirrorless camera, so we can expect for this to be competing with the R5 and the A1. And according to Nikon Rumours, we can expect this at the autumn fall of this year, which means it'll probably go on sale with limited stock, sell out, and then probably be more readily available in 2022. So far the price has been guesstimated to be between 6,000 and 7,000 US, or 180,000 to 210,000 Taiwanese dollars, similar to the Sony A1 at the moment, which is at $177,000 on PC Home. Picture here. As for the sensor, we're going to be most likely using a stacked full frame sensor, which means it can read out what the sensor is seeing a lot faster. So it's got multiple sensors, slightly off center, so you can get quicker scans of that. It'll most likely be anywhere in the ballpark of 46 to 60 megapixels, as Nikon have been, it's rumored that Nikon have been testing 46, 50 and 60 megapixel sensors. So they're going to be trying to keep up with Sony in that aspect. However, I think they'll be more likely to be about 50 because the Nikon Z7 II is already 45. In terms of design, instead of the compact design of Sony, we're going to be having a more full-bodied camera reminiscent of the Nikon D6. So it will have a built-in vertical grip, which will include another or maybe 2 battery slots. This will aid in not only taking vertical photos and having a grip there ready so you don't have to turn your hand, but keeping the batteries away from the sensor will reduce the chance of it overheating when recording video. Back on terms of the sensor, it's rumored that it will have a peak burst shooting rate of 20 frames a second, which falls just a bit short of Sony's 30 frames a second with their 50 megapixel sensor. The ISO range, which is the sensitivity to light, all of these terms are actually explained in my video, which goes through all of the basics in photography, which you can click just here or there, not sure, up somewhere. You can go and see what all of these terms mean, because then that will help it will help explain what I'm saying right now. ISO range is rumored to be between 64 and 25,600, which is expandable to 102,400, which is huge in terms of this camera would basically be able to see in the dark, albeit with a lot of noise. But the advantage that the Nikon has here, as opposed to the Sony, is that it starts at ISO 64 instead of ISO 100, which means in nice lighting like this, when we have daylight or even studio lights, those aren't studio lights, but if you had studio lights and you're shooting at ISO 64, you will have literally zero noise. With my Nikon D800 at the moment, I use the expandable ISO points and actually drop it down to L1, which is actually ISO 50. So I'll be interested to see what the L1 for the Z9 will be, if there is one. Onto autofocus and video, which I think will be what will make or break this Z9 compared if Nikon wants to start clawing back some of the market share that Sony and Canon have taken. Because Sony's autofocus is just industry leading and shortly followed by Canon, Nikon has in recent history has always just fallen short of it. Not to say that it's bad, but it's nowhere as near as good as the competitors. But however, I think that the new X-Speed processor within the Z9 will be the governor of this new an improved autofocus, but we will leave it to bigger channels that can be sent the test kit, no, that can be sent the test units, they can just buy it out themselves to verify this for us when it comes out. Officially though, Nikon have said that the camera will be able to shoot at 8K 30 frames a second, just like the A1, and ironically, and even some phones cap out at 24 frames. So it will be able to shoot at 8K 30 frames a second, just like the A1, with other with other capabilities such as 4K at 120 frames a second for that extra crispy, extra slow motion. As well as 8K, it will be able to shoot in Apple ProRes or Blackmagic RAW. So being able to shoot 8K RAW video or 4K 120 frames a second RAW will be big game changers for using it for post-processing and editing and color grading and things that, while I'm recording on my phone now, it's very hard to do because what you see is what you get. It's like JPEG versus RAW, and if you guys would like analysis or a comparison of JPEG versus RAW in photos, I will be more than happy to make a video about that. However, this Blackmagic and Apple ProRes RAW can be achieved if you do own the Z6 or Z7 cameras, but you do have to pay an extra $200 US and send your camera back to a service center where they will upgrade that camera, your camera for you. And finally, we're on to memory. The camera is likely to have 2 card slots, both XQD or CF Express, so there are no SD cards for this camera, which means there are no cheap options. For example, just a 128 gig SanDisk memory card will set you back $300 US or 8,980 Taiwanese dollars, and that's for one. If we want 2, double that, so $600 alone just on the memory to put in this camera. So 10% of the estimated cost of the camera is 2 memory cards, so this will be very painful. However, it will support USB-C, so I'm curious to see if you can use tethering. Maybe you can put a USB-C drive just like the Samsung one, and then just go directly to an SSD. I doubt it, but maybe, who knows, USB-C can do many things. Or maybe you go directly tethered to your laptop for a studio session. So that's something that's also to be seen. As sad as that is to accept that there's no SD card, it could be argued that it's necessary if you're recording 8K raw footage or 20 photos a second at 50 megapixels, but at the same time, if the Sony A1 has SD card slots and can do that by utilizing its cache and buffer size, then why can't Nikon? So all of these are just rumors, so nothing is set in concrete except for the 8K, so we'll just have to wait and see. In conclusion, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what's to come. If these leaked specs are true, then I'll be really excited and try and make that a goal to get one, because I have very nice Nikon glass that you can see right there, the 24-70 2.8 and the 70-200 2.8. And the reason I haven't wanted to buy a Sony or Canon mirrorless camera is because then I'd either have to buy new glass or get adapters, which is equally as expensive if you want to get a nice adapter for your Nikon glass, for your Sony camera. To be able to use the autofocus and everything will cost a lot just on the adapter alone. So it's something as well that I'm waiting to see, but definitely piqued my curiosity and hence the video. So let me know what you guys think about the new Nikon Z9 rumors and what you hope will come. Do you think Sony and Canon should be worried or what? Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one.